area right now, and we're going to be going down a little bit. We're going to be going to an old friend's place. We're going to be going down to DeKalb and talking with head coach Matt Weckler, the head coach. He's not new anymore at DeKalb. He used to be at Belvidere. And, Coach, good to have you on today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You know, it doesn't seem possible. How many years you been down there now, 3 or 4?
This will be my 3rd year down here in DeKalb.
That's amazing. It just, time goes by pretty quick, doesn't it?
It does, man. It's crazy how fast, 2 years have went by and already gone 3rd.
You know, I look at you and I think, wow, he probably didn't like graduation this year. You lose one of the top running backs in Illinois, and then he goes down to Illinois and gets hurt in the spring game because he left early. But he's going to be something to place this year, isn't he? I mean, you don't get those guys very often.
No, as a coach, I've been coaching for, I think this is my 18th year or something like that, and he's almost, our coaching staff talks about almost a once-in-a-lifetime, type athletes that you're privileged to coach. In Belvidere, I was lucky enough to be able to coach some really good football players. Then when I came down here and got to work with Dre, it was, just unbelievable.
I kind of followed him a little bit when you went down there, but he just seemed like more of a complete football player, just not the star football player. Seemed like a leader and somebody you could really count on down there, and that doesn't happen very often either sometimes.
No, not only was he a great kid on the football field, but a great kid off as well. Definitely a team leader. Sometimes you have kids like that can be more prima donna type, but he definitely was not that type of kid at all. He good student, obviously, for graduating early. Did all the right things that he needed to do to get to where he wanted to be. But unfortunately, he was expected to get a lot of playing time this year at Illinois, and unfortunately got hurt right before the spring game.
How is he doing right now, Coach? Is it good? He's going to miss the season, or will he be available probably?
You know what? I think he could come back and play. He'd have to miss, I think, about 4 to 5 games, but. The last time I talked to him, which was a couple weeks ago, I think he may just redshirt and, still have his 4 years after this.
Let's take a look at DeKalb. You have to replace a guy like them, but a lot of times in a situation like that, it's kind of like the next man up. Is that the situation at DeKalb, replacing Brown?
Well, you know what? I really don't think we have one guy that can replace him, and that'd be pretty difficult, and I don't want to put that on anybody's shoulders at all. But what we do have is some guys that can definitely play football down here. Good speed. Last year, it was obviously we focused our offense around Dre. This year, I think we're going to spread it out a little bit more. So, we may not have that one feature back that's going to get the ball, 95% of the time. We're going to have 3 backs that can definitely, run the ball and do different things that teams can't focus just on one.
How did the first week of practice go for you guys down there?
It was great. Our numbers are fantastic. I think year 1 down here, we are close to 90 kids.
Wow.
This year, we're up to 120.
Wow.
So, the program just keeps building. And the best thing about it is, we have young kids right now that are competing for spots. There's competition. And we also have, some young kids that are fighting for varsity spots against guys that, played a lot of snaps last year. So, for us as a coaching staff, that's something that we like and that's what we want. And fortunately enough, our young kids coming up have the opportunity to play early.
We're talking to former Belvidere coach Matt Weckler, who is now at DeKalb. And let's look at defense. Defense can win you some ball games, and you have what do you have down there looking right now, Coach?
We got a couple linebackers back. Leaf Williams is back, who played linebacker. We got 2 secondary all-conference, 1 all-conference kid at corner back, and the other corner is also back. Again, we have to replace Dre, who played free safety as well. And we think we have a kid that can, maybe not be up to that stature, but he'll do a good job. He's going to be a senior. He put his time in. But where we really like our defense is up on our defensive line. We have 4 very athletic defensive line kids. Some of them played outside linebacker last year. They're all about that 6'1", 200, 220-pound kid that can really run. So, fortunately for us and Coach Smaha and the defense, we're able to run a lot of different stunts and a lot of different twists with those guys. Even at times, we're bringing guys off the edge and dropping our defensive tackles off in coverage. So, he does a lot of crazy things with those guys because they're so athletic.
What about your special teams this year, Coach? I'm always a big special teams guy. I know what they can do for you once in a while.
You know what? We actually have we had an incoming freshman this year who's, ranked one of the top kickers in the state.
Nice.
For his grade level, that's just amazing. And, we've actually spent probably more time this off season and this preseason camp here on special teams than we did before, just because we realize, we don't have that star power that we may have last year. So we're going to have to gain some advantages on the special team side.
And the Northern Illinois Big 12, which is 10, how's that working out with 5 teams in each division so far, Coach?
It's not that bad. Honestly, Rochelle moved over to the West, and we had to pick up an extra non-conference game. But, we play 7 teams six teams, 6 conference games, basically, and then have 3 non-conference. And, it's a juggernaut, man. It's crazy. Every week is like a big rivalry game in this conference, and there's such good coaches, and the kids are so fundamentally sound here that each week, you never know, what's going to happen in terms of wins and losses.
In the past, I think you opened up with Vernon Hills. This year, Plainfield North, a new opponent. Do you enjoy that kind of happiness to get a start the season?
I think so. It's fun to play against different teams. Plainfield North is a real big school. They got some, big guys up front. And what we try to do here, since in the Nick 10 we didn't have any non-conference games, so here we try to match up or get some teams that kind of match up with some of the teams that we're going to play in the conference. Plainfield North is a team that's much like Morris. They're going to run some double tight end sets, some power eye stuff. So we try to get acquainted with some of our conference opponents with our preseason teams.
And before I let you go, that's always the rumor bug out there and stuff that DeKalb is going to join the Nick 10. They're going to go to 12 teams and those type of things. Is that just all a bunch of rumors, or you think that's ever going to take place? And what would you think about that?
You know what? I don't really know a whole lot about that. Down here, it's still just rumors. I mean, we are constantly, according to our athletic department, are constantly getting invited to different conferences or to look at different conferences. And I think that's just the way of the state right now, or the country, with teams, not only in high school but also in college, getting grouped into bigger conferences and that kind of stuff. For me, wherever we're playing, as long as we have kids on the field playing football, enjoying it, that'd be fine with me.
Well, Coach, thanks so much for taking time. Miss seeing you on Friday nights, but at least we get to keep updated on you at least once a year, and we appreciate it, and good luck to the Barbs.
Hey, thank you very much. Anytime.
We've been talking to DeKalb head football coach Matt Weckler, the former coach of Belvidere. Always enjoyed working with Coach Weckler, so it's been a lot of fun.